Hello, good evening. So, welcome to another Friday night with Trendline Investor, or you can call me Muru as well, however you want. Hello, we already have 6 people. Hey, Turtle Trader, I think your name, I forgot, is Prakash or Prashant? I forgot. Hi, Dinesh. Hi, Sudhakaran. Hi, Shiv. Hello, Shankar. So, how was this week overall? I think a Friday, we all wait for Fridays every week, and here's Friday. I hope you're going to enjoy your weekend. But before that, let's look at what our chart says, and then we'll see how it goes, right? So hi Shiva. Turtle Trader asks, saw your initial YouTube video today. Are you still in algo trading? Just sort of curiosity. Yes, I do have a algo which runs on Nifty. So I had the logic prepared, and my friend coded the logic, and it runs with Python plus fires. So yeah, we did start. I think we started around last year July, and Bank Nifty had an awesome beginning. In fact, we doubled our capital in just 4-5 months. I think we put around 8 lakhs, and we went all the way to 16 lakhs. But then we came down back to 11 lakhs, 10.5 lakhs. So, and then we stopped Bank Nifty Algo because it lost all the money, almost all the money it made. So we did not lose capital, but we lost all the money that Bank Nifty made. So I think we stopped Bank Nifty because it exceeded the drawdown that we had, and Nifty is running. So that's how it is. Yeah, and yeah, I do have algo which runs, but I've not been working on any algos of late. In fact, for the last you can say even for more than 6 months it's been since I went and back tested some strategy or did something like that. I've just been too busy with educating you guys and with work as well. So hi Naresh, hi Hemant. Market has actually been very kind in the last few days. It has been good. So there is a poll, if you did not notice, there is a poll which is right now running. So do hit that poll and say, how was your portfolio this week? For me, it was overall decent. I did not lose much or gain much. So it's kind of flat, except for, but the portfolio kind of recovered completely from that couple of days of volatility. And so I added more of Jubilant Ingrea today. I will make a video why. So I have Jubilant Ingrea almost around 20% of my portfolio. So I will make a video probably this weekend as to how I went about adding Jubilant Ingrevia. So I think I added in 3 stages. So today was last time I added at around 710, right? Just when the pullback was about to get complete, and we closed. It also closed well. But I'll make a video on how I added Jubilant Ingredient and also Hickel, and also a couple of other stocks in case I have the time. But thank you for joining again. We have around 20 people. Before we start, today let's like the video so that we have more people. So Google has the algorithm when you like and when you are really happy with the videos, then kind of the algo kind of generates, pushes this video to others, YouTube as well. So let's have some more people joining today. So let's like that video, and then we can get started. So there are a couple of interesting questions also today which I'm going to answer. One which Naresh asked me on Twitter this evening. So it was about the relative strength charts between the index and a sector stock, right? So for example, you want to compare Nifty Metal versus Nifty, or IT versus Nifty, or FMCG versus Nifty. You can compare the relative strength and then take decisions. So we look at that shortly, but let's get started. I think we are 3 minutes into this live session. Okay, so today again we had an excellent close. Now, if you had followed the plan that we discussed yesterday, so we had a very clear plan, right? So I'm not sure how many of you followed or if you made money. Do let me know. But I kind of showed you a pattern which we are developing, and I said it's very clear where we have to break out, where we have to go long and where we have to go short, right? So that was the upper line that we discussed yesterday, and then we had this lower channel. Right now, this is a beautiful setup for low risk, high reward trades, because in case we go above this point, we said we'll go long, right, above that point, and we gapped up right above that point. We gapped up 16 opening was around 16,390. So even if you're able to catch around 16,400 odd levels, you could have gone long with a stop around, or probably waited for some time because the stop was too deep, or you could have gone long above this point also here, 16,450. and you could have kept a stop around 16 for 425. So that was 25 point stop, but you could have made around a 50 point trade, right? So we could have probably exited there, even a 40 points. So that's a 1:2 risk reward, right? And we said we'll go short below this point, right? So we never went below that point. But let's take a look at the weekly charts, also daily charts. So again, we have given a breakout. So we broke out from this range, almost a 1 week range, and we went higher. So on the weekly charts, if you see, we've been having two beautiful weeks, green candle, two continuous green candles. And if you see, that's how the trend is. Every time we break out, we have a strong move, and then we kind of slow down and it goes slowly higher, right? Every time you see, right? So even here, we had a strong move this week. Then we had a strong move here after the breakout from here. Again, here 2 weeks. And even here, we had 2 weeks of move, and then we went sideways. So every time you have a strong consolidation, by now, if you've been with me in this series or in this live session for the last many weeks, by now you should have been very comfortable with the consolidation breakouts and all that. So in case you still not understood, then you need to go back and look at my videos, at least how I select stocks. You have to go back and look at those videos, and then try to make a kind of a decision of how you want to do it. So so we've had a good week again. So overall the trend is still up. Nifty has been going up, but the small cap index, mid cap index is kind of not moving. But overall, if you see, I'll just go to the 15-minute charts, just show you where we are right now, right? So right now we are in a parallel channel. So I'm just connecting that point and that point, and I'm just extending this here, right? So we're kind of trading in a parallel channel right now, and this might continue much higher. So if you see this point, every time you see, we've kind of reversed from here, and then we've been getting rejected from there. Then we came down, tested the middle of the channel, and again we went high. So now the trend is very clear, right? So a parallel channel breakdown would mean we go short, but also we have some key pivots which have formed today. Now I already told you before, in case you don't understand this high lows, just use a simple pivot, and when we cross the pivot high, you go long, and we break a pivot low, we go short. Now since that breakout, right? So since that breakout here, if you see, we had higher highs, continuous higher highs, and continuous higher lows. So trend is strong and still up. So the next plan for Monday or the next trading session would be that you want to go long in case this is the channel, right? And in case we head lower towards 16,470, 480 odd levels, or if we let's go look at the short long plan first. So that's the level you want to look at short. But in case, let's say Monday we go sideways, probably we go sideways like this, and then we test somewhere here. So basically just look for test towards the lower end of the channel. Moment we test around lower end of the channel, wait for a reversal candle like this, a green candle like this, and then you can probably go long around that channel, right? But for now, don't short yet unless we don't go below 16,465 odd, right? So we need to break this low over here, and only then you go short, right? Now if this happens, if Monday probably we have a gap down towards 16,470 odd, then you can probably buy that long. I'm not if there's a gap down, then probably we're going much higher, because a gap down, markets will not just suddenly gap down and then we go lower. It will never happen like that, because so many people are long. It'll need some time to the market will give some time for the people to unwind their longs, and then market will probably go short. So the long plan is clear. If we head to this channel level, then you can buy and go long, and if you break below this, we go short, right? Otherwise the trend is still up and there's no confusion yet, right? So such kind of markets are really rare. So I hope you're benefiting. So that's the view on Nifty. Now let's jump to our session of Trade with Trendline Investor. So we've been having a decent day, but only thing is we've not deployed entire capital. But on overall portfolio, we are up 1.6%. So on 1 lakh, we are up 1.6%. But on the 30% we've deployed, we are up 5%, right? So you have to look at this as return of your overall portfolio. So we are up 1.6%. Again, Laxmi Chemicals has been the biggest performer. We are up 20% in just a couple of days. Right now, it is very difficult to identify such stocks. So if you've identified such stocks, just hold on to them. You will have some short consolidations, and then the stock will again move higher. Until then, keep looking at other stocks, focus on the stocks and see if they're moving higher or not. So Cummins India also has moved decent. So we're up overall 2.69%. Gland is kind of flat. Birlasoft also is kind of flat. But Birlasoft, we've added today more. We've added around 19 shares more at 428. And let's look at the journal, right? So here, if you see, I've added more. Yesterday, plan was to add more shares at 428. So here, if you see, I've added 19 shares. And now the risk is total 990, and the stop loss has moved from 390 to 395 for Birlasoft. So Cummins, I've kept the stop loss to 880. Laxmi Chem, I've kept the stop loss to 265 still, and Gland, I've kept the stop loss to 3775. Right now, the risk here is Laxmi Chem can come all the way down to our stop loss, and it might hit our stop loss. But then we want to ride the bigger trend, right? That's why our stop loss is not moved yet. We want a short consolidation somewhere, and then we move our stop loss. Right. Otherwise, still we are sitting on a 60,000 cash. So we have 62% of cash, and none of our other GTTs were triggered today. Right. So if you see HAL, Naukri, Indiamart, none of this has been triggered yet. Okay. So we'll keep it as it is. Let it still, we'll wait for this. And in case it gets triggered, then we will buy it. Right. So otherwise, there's no change in plan. The risk as of now is still 3%. So we'll have two more triggers. So either sort of these three GTDs that we have, if two gets triggered, then we'll cancel the other one. Okay, that's the plan. It's simple as that. Okay, because we've reached a 5% maximum portfolio heat. Okay, so just looking at the charts of our stocks. Now remember, we are on a Friday. So every Friday, ensure that you go to the weekly charts and look at your charts and see what has the stock done for that week. Right now, looking at Birlasoft, it's very clear, right? So we've had inside bar this week. Then this week we kind of broke that bar, and now we have again moved up with high volume. So in terms of this stock itself, it is in a very strong consolidation. After that move up, it is in a very strong consolidation. Now, if you're selling your stock at this point somewhere and you feel that the stock is going to crash, that's a very bad way to sell the stock, because even if you look from a long-term picture, the long-term picture clearly says that this stock has broken out here from this trend and it is picking up pace, right? So the chance for this stock is, the only way for this stock is to head higher from here, and if it goes down, then it hits a stop loss. But for now, the trend is very clear, right? It is just consolidating around that highs, and on the weekly, we've had a good week this week, right? So on the weekly, if you see, we've had a good green bar with good volume. So the trend is very strong for Birlasoft, so we continue to hold Birlasoft. Next is Cummins, right? Again, on the weekly chart, if you see massive volumes, a nice inverted head and shoulders breakout, and as of today, there's no reason for you to sell the stock if you're holding the stock. And even if you've been holding the stock from here, all the way from here, there's no reason for you to sell. If you're holding it for investment purpose, probably if you're holding for short-term trading, then you could have exited. But for investment purpose, there's no reason why you have to sell such stocks. Okay. Again, a strong stock. We continue to hold this. Laxmi Chem, again, we had a nice breakout. We added somewhere around 280 levels. So we are at around 340. Again, on the weekly chart, very strong weekly candle. And from here, the stock probably will consolidate and move higher. So what we'll do is we'll wait for again a consolidation like something like this, and then we'll add more, and then we'll pyramid this position. But for now, beautiful volumes last 2 days, excellent week, and it's heading higher from here probably. So next is Gland. Again, Gland is kind of consolidating today also. And also the weekly, we've had decent volumes, not very good volumes, but this trend is strongly up. So our stop loss continues to be around 377, 5 or 70, I think. Yeah, 3775. Right. So these are stocks that we've been looking at or we've been holding. Now, Indiamart, again, if you see, we kind of formed inside bar. Now this is getting really tight. So you don't want to miss this. If you've been with me in this live session, just keep a stop of 7500. It doesn't matter, investment portfolio, whatever portfolio, it is going to give good returns. It is just getting, all the selling which is here is just getting absorbed around that zone. Right, so beautiful setup. HAL is again another beautiful setup. We are just forming kind of a short-term consolidation. Now, since July 5th, it has just been going sideways. So there is no movement whatsoever. Right, so if you go to the monthly charts, you will see that we've just been around that, highs. Right, so after that sell-off, we had a drop down, and then we're just consolidating around those highs. Now, this is purely because of this selling pressure around this zone. The moment we're going to cross 1175 odd levels, then we're going to head much higher, right? So it is just a sell-off that's been happening. The stock is really good from a technical perspective. So trend again is right around the trend line. So we don't have this in this one, but just in case you want, this also is having a sell-off around that zone, but this is a very short-term sell-off. It can head higher from here. It is around the trend line support also, right? Naukri is there. Again, Naukri is, again a weekly, not much movement since 1 month now, or more than 1.5 months now. So this also can head higher. Again, if you see, this is taking support right after it broke out here. It broke out this week and it's just going sideways, right? Escorts, again, a beautiful stock. We've kind of broken out strong volumes this week, and this can head higher. On the long-term charts, if you see, this is actually a portfolio stock. So if you're holding this stock, it's a beautiful long-term uptrend. So it's probably a good time to add a very less risk, but probably you get good rewards. It can head to 3,000 in the next many years. So next probably 5 years, it can probably head to 3,000 odd levels. But this is a nice portfolio stock. It just keeps going like that, right? Then Likhita, yeah, we're not really, we don't have this in this one, but again, this one also looks good. It's just consolidating around that zone, right? This was recommended newsletter. It is just not moving up. Just about time, probably it moves up in the next week or so. So these are the stocks that I wanted to discuss. But let's look at one of the questions that Naresh asked me on Twitter, which is the relative strength chart, right? Now you'll see most of the people posting on Twitter, they post charts like, CNX IT. You just type CNX IT, then you type the divide symbol, then type Nifty, right? And then you just press enter. Now what this tells you is, now this basically is nothing but the relative strength of a stock to the index, right? So index here is Nifty. So in case you're looking at, let's say, something like a Tata Consumer or any other stock, you might want to look at CNX 500 and not Nifty, because Nifty is very biased index. Nifty is predominantly the weightage is in HDFC, Reliance, and these kind of stocks. So if a couple of stocks move, this index itself will move. But CNX 500 is a very equal weighted index. So if you want to look at anything from a stock perspective, then use CNX 500. But if you're looking at index, a stock index like CNX IT, then use Nifty, right? So the moment you plot this, if you see, I've already drawn this channel right here, right? Now what's happening is this tells you that if this I also written a beautiful blog on relative strength. You might want to check that. That also explains the relative strength of in a much better way. So I think it's somewhere here. Yeah, why can't I find it? Just a minute. Yeah, identifying stock strength, relative strength. I think I need to organize this in a much better way, but this is a nice article for you to refer to and deep dive into, and then you can Google and understand. But primarily what this tells is, or what this signifies is that in case if the stock is moving up, let's say 1%, or in case Nifty is moving 1% and the stock is moving up 3% or 4%, so that means that the stock is outperforming the benchmark. Now you have seen that many portfolio management companies say that they are overweight or underweight, right? When they're overweight, they're just adding more to that particular stock. When they're underweight, they reduce the quantity. But that's completely different from this. This is outperformance and underperformance. So when you say outperformance, so which means the index has been, or the stock has been moving higher than the index itself, right? So in this case, if you see CNX IT has been going higher, which means this is performing better than the index. Now we all know CNX IT has been performing really well, but let's take an example of a stock, right? Now if you check ITC divided by Nifty, right? Now we all know ITC is not moving, right? Now I'll just plot this chart and you'll see that this ITC has been completely down. Now whereas if you look at the stock itself, the stock is not down, the stock is just going sideways, right? The stock is just going sideways. But if you plot the relative strength has been completely down, right? Now usually I also have an indicator. I'll just plot the indicator also. So probably what we can do is I'll plot the indicator also show you, but this is nothing but it shows that the stock has been underperforming or has not been going as much as the Nifty itself. That's why you see this is completely down. So this is nothing but the ratio of Nifty and the stock or the index, right? Now I've also, in case you don't want to do this, then you can just use I've written this sorry, so I've written this I mentioned this indicator in the so I mentioned this indicator code here in this blog, so you can just go down, you will see this. I think there is some problem with this, or you can just go to my pinned tweet on Twitter, you'll find it. right? So if you plot relative strength also, you see here also, this is nothing but the same thing, but I've just made it as a separate tool. Now even here, if you see, this blue line is nothing but the same chart which I just showed you, but plotted on a linear, on a line chart. And this is the moving average of that particular index, of that particular ratio. So if you see Nifty, so ITC has been going sideways, but this has been trending completely down, right? And this red line is the moving average, 52 week moving average, so, or 52 month in this case, and that is basically showing that this is completely down and it is below than the long-term average, right? So but see what happens moment it goes high, right? Moment this crosses the red line, what happens is then the stock starts outperforming. That's why this blue line is above the red line, and then you see the index is completely going, the stock is completely going up, right? So you see the stock also is moving up, and you see here also this is moving up, and then moment this starts breaking down, and then we have complete underperformance, right? So even though here ITC made a new high, this relative strength did not make a new high, right? So I will stop here, but you can also find good stocks. Like for example, let's take let's take Tata Steel, right? Tata Steel has been one of our best performers, right? Now Tata Steel, if you see, let's go to the weekly charts. I don't see this on the monthly, I see in the weekly. Now, Tata Steel, if you see, this was in a complete downtrend, right? And this week it broke out. But if you see here, also the strength of the stock, relative strength of the stock started moving higher, and then it started outperforming very, it started outperforming much higher than the index itself. So if you're looking at just breakouts, you don't have to look at this indicator mostly. So if there's a breakout, probably this also is going to perform much better. Right, so I'll stop here on this. If you have any questions, you can DM me on Twitter or DM here also so that I can respond. Okay, now I think we're already 20 minutes past the session. Let's answer some questions. So we have around 27 people. So Kumuragiri asks, how to differentiate fake out with breakout? So many stocks break out with good volume but failed. SJ asked about Castrol, and it was good breakout with good volumes and now failed. It is not failed, Kumbragari. I think you're just not being, or most of the people, when they see a breakout, they expect the stock to move higher, right? Now, Castrol, you're saying, I asked about Castrol, it was good breakout with good volumes. But Castrol, this was a good breakout. It doesn't mean the stock will not come back. The stock can come back all the way down till this point, right? Because that's the recent demand zone. Okay, so this is not a fake breakout. It's a proper breakout, and it's just consolidating and it's trying to fill that gap. So there's a gap here. It came and filled that gap, and probably it will head higher. Now your expectations are not right. I put that way. Now many people, what they expect is the moment they see a breakout, which means they expect the stock to head much higher. That will not happen always. You need to have some patience, because the stock can, it depends on how strong the stock has moved. The stock can go sideways like this incorrect, and it can come all the way until the previous swing low. Right, so there's no way to identify a fake breakout or a true breakout. You always keep a stop loss, and if it works out, it works out. Otherwise, it doesn't work out. Now, also remember, when you look at breakouts, there are higher levels also, right? For example, in this case, the reason why this came down is because probably of this trendline resistance, right? So even though it broke out here, this trendline resistance kind of acted as resistance, and it came down. Now, this will always happen, right? So markets. In fact, I'm writing a blog this week in this week's newsletter saying what is the psychology that you need to sustain in markets. Now, the expectations of people are completely wrong, especially after this bull market. Everyone expects a stock to just go higher and higher. That's not how markets work. Markets take their own sweet time, and they will go slowly and steadily up. Some stocks will move faster, some stocks will not move faster, right? And that's not a fake breakout for information. It will be a fake breakout only probably if it goes below 130 odd levels. Until then, it's not a fake breakout according to me. Okay, so that's my view. What has been a best investment trade of all time? Sagar is asking. Actually, MMTC was one of my recent very good trades which I had taken. So in fact, I went big in this trade. I had around a 30% position size recently, and it was my biggest trade, I think. So here, I think I posted this in one of my friends' group that I have. I kind of took a trade here around this point with 30% position size, and I kind of got out somewhere around here. Right, so it was 43 to 58. That was more than 30% around. And that was one of my best recent trades where I had a really big position size, and I was very confident about this because of this trendline reversal. And I still do take trades, but I've not gone, 40% position size is not normally that I do. But yeah, that's been one of my biggest trades recently. Yeah, but also, I think your best trades will keep changing every now and then because your capital also increases because you keep earning money on your capital increases. So your best trade in the recent past, in the last many years, might not be the best trade right now because we're in such a good bull market, right? We're in a good bull run, and I think that once you start earning money, you start accumulating money slowly and steadily. So 100% gain few years back would be equal to probably a 30% gain right now, or a 40% gain right now. So a best trade for me is always in terms of money. If you see, then it has been recently of late. But I try to find such trades. Like for example, right now, one of the recent trades I've told you is Jubilant Ingrevia. So till now, position size is around 20%, I think, 15 to 20%. But I will let this, go much higher. Let's see how far it goes. But today, one of the reasons I added is because of this trend line pullback. So on the 5-minute charts, if you see, I'll just switch to log charts. If you see, we kind of pulled back right around the trend line there. So I kind of added at around 710 is when I added this, when I saw this green candle reversal. And then I just let it now. Let's see how far it goes. But that's one of the recent weak position size that I'm having. So ICL also was one of the decent trades, not a very great trade recently, but it was a decent trade, which kind of gave good returns. But I think you should not really focus on, each and every trade. You don't know which one will go much higher, which will be your best trades. The best way to get your best trade is to add on to your positions as and when it moves higher. That's really only way to make trade work for you. You can never know which trade will work for you. Most of us, what we do is we try to predict that this trade would be a good trade. That's not how markets work. You need to actually add on more money to the stocks which are moving higher. By now, you should have got that, learning by now. That's how you do it. So what Nifty analyst from yesterday was helpful for today's options. Jaydev, really thanks. Sudhakar asks, if possible, shares your share market experience, how you started, best, worst, ups and downs. I think, I am planning to make a video where initially back in 2015, 2017, I invested in Suzlon, and I was just learning at that point. So I've been in markets since 2010, but I was never profitable until 2016. Right, so 2017 is onwards when I started really making money. But Suzlon was one of the biggest bets which I took because I was doing my MBA and I lost some 2.5 lakhs. I'll make a video on that. It's in progress. It's just taking some time of me, but that'll be one of the videos that I'll be making. So Karthik Lal, hi sir, please analyze exchanging solutions. Exchanging solutions is it's in a proper uptrend. It's just going sideways for now. You need just to have patience, right? So this is what I say. Just because the stock goes up so much and it comes down so much, it doesn't mean it's a fake breakout. It always happens like this because there are short-term traders who book profits at this point and then it starts coming down, right? But the long-term trend is clearly up, so you don't have to worry. Keep holding on to exchanging solutions. It's in a good uptrend. Sagar is asking me on Jackson Pharma. I think this is also in a good uptrend. It kind of broke out recently around that point, so that was a multi-year breakout around that zone, and it's just getting sold off. So this level probably can act as a resistance, but I think this is in a proper uptrend. So volumes have been very great, Sagar, so you can continue to hold. This is a fast moving stock, right? Compared to the other stocks we saw. This is really a good moving stock and a proper base breakout every time, right? So every time it goes high, it kind of breaks out, right? So this is how you add on to your positions. Now if you were holding Jackson Pharma, then all you have to do is add more and trail your stop loss, right? Now the next breakout is here. So your stop loss first should have been here, then it comes here, then it comes here, then it comes here, then it comes here. Now not every setup stock moves like this. So be happy if you're holding such stocks and continue to make it a big position size so that you can make some decent money. So Yasho Industries, yes, let's check this. Yeah, this also is in a good trend. I think today was a red candle. I think that's showing wrong, but it looks good. It's in a proper uptrend now. See, it has moved from 450 to 700, right? And it's a short-term consolidation. Wait for it to consolidate, then move ahead. Again, if you have caught such stocks, so this is, I think, a very small cap stock. Literally, there was no volume here, but it's moving high. But this looks good. You can continue to hold Yasho Industries. So Rohit asks, when can we see a dip towards unfilled gap near 16150, holding short position future? Rohit, that's a really bad trade, I would say, and I really want to tell you, because I've seen your names in this live session a couple of times, and I'm not sure why you're holding a short position since 16250, right? That's a really bad trade. and you will be in deep red if you don't follow your discipline. If you don't have discipline, you're going to be in deep red. So since 16,250 somewhere here, and we've been saying that we are in a proper uptrend, and till now a short was not triggered at all, right? So you should not be holding. There's no way it's going to come down. Right now the trend is very strong. Now probably the channel that we discussed today might reverse from there, but you need to cut down your position. Keep a stop loss around 16,540, which is today's high, and exit the position. And this is why I don't understand why, first of all, beginners do futures and options. I've already told futures and options is dangerous. Please don't get into this futures and trading. You can make money. You're looking at quick money. There is no quick money in markets. Believe me, I've lost money in futures and options, and I've experienced this, and I'm telling you, it is not a place. If you're working full time or if you have a job, you need full dedication to it. You need a very high level of concentration. It's a different level of skill set. It's like being in the Olympics. So if you want to know the Olympics of markets, it is futures and options, and it needs a completely different level of skill set. You can't make money just by entering the first year in futures and options. It takes years. Until now, even I've not done futures and options. I do my algo, but algo is purely rule based. Right? I don't really interact with algo much. So I let it go and I just let it run. So Rohit, please exit your positions and try to save your money. 3 lots is just too much. I trade just 1 lot in Nifty, and my capital for that is 5 lakhs. So on 5 lakhs, I'm just trading 1 lot. Right? I'm sure you're trading with you have less capital and you're trading 3 lots. It's a very bad trade. Please, guys, if you're on my channel, do not do this. It's a really fast way to lose money. Dinesh has entered Tata Consumer 800 as it was breaking out. Is this the right entry, or should I wait for consolidation after breakout to make fresh entry? No, Dinesh, perfect entry. In fact, I was looking at it today. Tata Consumer kind of gave a breakout. I think 800. Your entry should have been around 790. I think 800 is also perfectly fine. It is a beautiful breakout, almost a 1 month consolidation breakout. Beautiful volumes. You can continue to hold. Keep stop around 750 odd. It's a nice entry. Ankit says, hi sir, which one is best stock for long-term investment? 1 stock per month, SIP, Pidilite, Asian Paints. Just tell me best 1 or 2 only. I can't tell you the best stocks. I'm not here to tell you the best stocks. It is up to you to decide. All these stocks are decent stocks. They are long-term consumer stories, but right now, I think TCS has run up a lot. HDFC Bank probably, because it has not moved up much. Pidilite, all these stocks can be done in SIP mode. You can go in SIP mode and invest in these stocks. These are beautiful consumer stories. But I'm not going to tell you which stock to do, because then I become responsible, so I don't want to do that. But all these stocks are decent consumer stories. They can be sipped for long term. Can you publish the script for interest and comparison, Jaydev? It is there in my pin tweet, Jaydev. I don't publish scripts on TradingView because there's a lot of terms and conditions for publishing. I just don't do it. I'm sorry, but you can find it in my pin script and my pin tweet in Twitter. Hemant says, any good screeners just to filter out stocks to study? Go to my pin tweet, Hemant. I have a weekly scanner. I run that scanner and I find a lot of stocks. The newsletter stocks also from there, so you might want to look at that. Adarsh says JSW Steel. JSW Steel is strong. There's no question. It's a beautiful, strong stock. It's just been going sideways. It's forming a nice base here on the weekly charts. Also, it's a first dip after. It's in fact the first major consolidation after this move, and you can expect such consolidations after a stock has moved so much. And it is just totally right to expect such consolidations. So right now the stock is in a it is right. Just consolidating, so probably a couple of more weeks before it moves up, but this is a proper consolidation after a massive move, so nothing to worry there. Turtle Trader, for someone who is very new for trading, following Trendline Investor series and learning chart patterns, apart from these, what should be the learning curve? I think you need to find a good mentor and you need to read books. I've given some of the books in my very first newsletter. I've given some books for you to buy and read. Go back to my newsletter, go to the first newsletter, and you'll find those. And if you can't find the newsletters, just come to my blog. There is a newsletter section right on the top. You can click on that. You'll find all the newsletters here. Okay. So the learning curve will be a couple of years, but if you're going to be with me for some time, you will learn very quickly because I discuss everything that I know. I don't really hide anything. So I think these are more than enough. So those books, following me and trading real time based on keeping your money, investing a certain amount is more than enough. Do you invest in US stocks, Harish? No, I don't invest in US stocks, Harish. Thank you. Kumaragiri says, thank you. Please share your view on Endoco Remedies. Enter today at 484. I think Endoco also is in a good uptrend. It in fact gave a breakout yesterday and it is moving high. Right, it's just retest of this breakout. So it's a good level to add more if you want. Keep your stop around 425. Now again, it's a beautiful uptrend, right? So there's no reason to panic. Keep a stop around 425. Add more if you want at the current levels. it's a good time to buy the stock. So Dinesh asked, are you investing another financial instrument, just trading direct equities? No, I do futures. As I said, I'll go trading, which is the only other thing I do. I don't invest in mutual funds. I don't invest in anything else. Most of my capital is in markets. Okay, so I know my risk. I manage my risks. So I kind of get that return that I want. Sometimes I go big. Sometimes, mostly I'm in cash, especially in bear markets. So I just don't do anything. What do you consider more the factors while going 30 to 40% more allocation in stocks? Rakesh, 30 to 40%, what I do is, when I'm having such big allocation, the first thing I do is, my risk is always 1%. By now you should know that. But the moment I'm in good profit, I kind of lock in my, I move my stop really aggressively high, because on a 40% position, 30% position, a 30% move means your portfolio is up 12%. Right? So, and usually what people do is they invest 5% of stocks and then wait for 200%, 300% move. But ideally, if you have a big 30% position size, and even if the stock moves 30%, from there your portfolio is up around 9%. Right? Now that's what is very aggressive position sizing. And I do it when I have good setups like trendline reversals or breakout from a very horizontal support, which is tested multiple times, or these kind of setups. But otherwise, I'm very, very, aggressive in terms of risk management. I ensure that I don't lose much. And when I go big, I ensure I also book my profits very fast. I don't let it go much higher, because I made the money that I usually make in a 20% position size. I make it much quicker here. But that requires, the setup needs to be really good for me. Only then I'll enter. Okay. Siva says, view on Inox Leisure. Inox Leisure also is, I think it's going sideways, if I'm not right. Yeah, so if I'm right, yeah, it's going sideways, forming an inverted head and shoulders pattern. So probably a good breakout from here would be really fantastic for the stock. It's just going, sideways. So probably, yeah, it's not a perfect trend line, but it's an inverted head and shoulders breakout. But keep a buy order above 342 levels, and then you can buy this stock. But it looks like it's going to break out. It's showing signs of breakout. It's forming weekly inside bars continuously. So signs of breakout coming. Okay, hey Sagar, thanks. Yeah, okay. Akshay, hi. Deepak Spinner, good time to enter. Deepak Spinners, good time to enter. Wow, see this massive move, 100 to 300, 400 levels, and it's dropping. Probably yes, it's a good time to add, but keep a stop around 275, and it's a good time to add probably. Right, it's just hovering around the previous support level. Okay, and probably it's also near trendline support. Yeah, might go sideways few more days, before it touches the trendline support, right? So yeah, but it's a good time to add. But I'll probably add near the trend line if it comes close to the trend line. But yeah, it's good. Nifty view is helping a lot. If possible, please consider adding Bank Nifty view too. Shiva, Bank Nifty is very volatile, and I don't trade Bank Nifty because of the volatility. But it's just too much of effort for me also, right? So if I'm going to add Bank Nifty, then I have to spend some more time to analyze Bank Nifty. So I'm not really doing that. I'll continue. Probably I'll do that once I have some time. Then I'll probably consider that. So for now, I'm sorry, Shiva. That's going to be difficult for me. Rohit says, yes, sir. Have sold some put option to minimize losses. Will be looking to exit them if it cross 16,600. Yes, Rohit, it's up to you, but try to cut your losses. Jaydev, view on Adani Gas. Adani Gas has been in a strong downtrend after that massive move. Adani Total Gas. Yeah, but it's consolidating nicely. It's around that trend line support, and it's been silent, right? But this is a nice inverted head and shoulders. So if you want to really add Adani Gas, just keep a buy stop above 940. Right now, this is what I call a proper consolidation. Now, in case I get entries in this, then I will really have a good position size, right? Because the stop loss here is just 840 and my stop is at 940, right? So that's 100 points, around 10% stop. I will initially probably, one moment it breaks out, I will even go with a 3% stop or 2% stop, depending on how I want. And then I'll immediately be ready to cut my losses, right? But this is probably, it's done. I think it's done. And it should head higher from here. But just wait for a breakout above 940. Enter only above 940. Probably can break down as well. But it's looking really good. Last few weeks, I think, yeah, you see those demand wicks. Now that's how you analyze the stock. When you see those demand wicks, every time it goes down, it's being bought. So I think the dip is almost done. And just let's check Fibonacci retracements. So from the bottom, it has corrected 50%. right? So it's exactly the 50% retracement from the bottom. So I think it's a good time, but add only above 940. Okay, so it's a good find. Ankit, L&T Finance Holdings review to enter. LT. Okay, so let's look at this. No, it's not a good time to enter. Yeah, probably yes, because this week it has kind of closed. Let's see the close of this week. So low is 84.5, 84. So this week if it closed, yeah, it's a good time to add, but I'll probably add, you know, only above this point. So right now I'll wait for the stock to bounce back. I'll probably add only above that point, 90.5. Okay, so I'm gonna add only about 90.5, 90.6. But don't add before that. Probably this is also head and shoulders, and if you can break down also, so don't be aggressive. Don't add right now. Let's just look at the trend line quickly. Just going to draw that here, keep that here. No, it's not even close to trend line. So you want to wait for, and add only about 90.6, 91. Okay, so that's my view. Small caps, I think I've given my view already, Sudhakar. So small caps is facing resistance around 10,300. So that's the resistance we spoke about, and it's kind of rejected. So I explained this example here also, right? How we went high and then we came down again, probably went high. So we can see the same behavior here right now. So we kind of tried to go up, but they got rejected from the resistance. So always the first time the stock after breaking down, when it goes up, it will get rejected, and there's very high chance it'll get rejected, and that's what is happening. So otherwise, hold on to stocks which are doing well. I think you should do well. Vallabh says, thanks, Muru, looking forward to the newsletter. Yes, newsletter will be sent this week. So in case you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. There are 1,500 people who are benefiting, so you might want to also add it. Okay, and also do share the channel with your friends if you haven't. It might really help me. Akshay says, entered Oracle Finance today at 4,700. Is it a good entry? OFS says, yes, it's a very good entry. OFS has given a very good breakout. We discussed this yesterday, and it's just kind of around that. So in fact, 4,200 can be a stop, and this is a really good stop, and you can expect much higher levels. This is a beautiful breakout, a 5-6 years breakout, right? Harisha sir, can you share a video on how to make trading journal on Excel? I'm weak in Excel. If you're weak in Excel, you have to learn, Harish. I can't really help you in Excel, but I will explain the trading journal in a video. But you need to probably learn how to handle Excels. Okay, and I also share the complete Excel also with you. Rakesh says, please check Siemens. As per my chart, it's monthly breakout and entered at 2130. Yes, Rakesh, Siemens and Cummins India both looks really good. So it is a breakout from a wedge pattern, right? So that pattern was a breakout, and it is a monthly breakout as well. And it has a very small stop as far as I know. The stop is around, so stop is at 1900 odd. Okay, but it's a good, your best time out was to add around when it broke out from here, right? So this was the best time to add, but okay, it's fine now also. So 1900 should be a stop. It's a 300 point stop from now. So I think I've answered all of your questions, everyone. So in case you like the channel, you like the videos, don't forget to subscribe, and please share this with your friends. It'll really help me. It'll keep me motivated. There's still a lot of effort which I put every week. I do the newsletter, I share it with you. I post a lot of ideas on Twitter. I do this every night. So it's all just to educate people, because there are a lot of people who kind of charge very high fees for sharing even basic strategies, which is really sad. Ankit asks maybe on Motherson Sumi. Motherson Sumi is at all-time high, Ankit. It's just consolidating around all-time highs. Also, if you see, I've drawn that, right? So all-time high is just consolidating after that doji. So it might dip towards 190 odd levels, but for now, I think I'd not be worried really. So probably can take support around that zone and then probably head higher. Okay, so just coming back. Akshay asks my view on VLS Finance. I think VLS Finance is good. It is just recovered this week. Current hold VLS Finance. There's nothing wrong in the stock. Okay, technically looks good. So I think I'll stop here, guys. I'm not going to take any more questions. Otherwise, have a good weekend, and do subscribe to the newsletter if you haven't. And if you have any ideas on some things that you want from me, then just tag me on Twitter and post what you're looking forward in terms of videos like trading journey, right? Trading journal. So I'll make a video on that. But in case you have many other requests like that, do post it on Twitter and tag me, and I'll let you know. I'll make those videos when I have time. Okay, otherwise I'll leave you here. Thank you. Have a good weekend.